to the daily life of a motion designer. Today, I want to introduce track matte tools in After Effects. Track matte has always been important for motion projects. Track matte terms are the same as in the old After Effects versions. Since Adobe After Effects 2023, this term has become much better and handier. In this short tutorial, I got to show what track matte is and how it works. Let's jump in. Track matte is a process that needs two layers at least, a matte layer and an alpha or a luma layer. Matte looks like a window. You can see the alpha luma layer through it. Let's check the alpha matte term. Create a new composition. Make a shape layer with a white circle on it. I rename it to matte. To get a better view, make the viewport transparent. Now write the text and edit the size. Change the text color if needed. Place it in composition. And put it below the matte layer. Now I want to use the matte layer as a window that shows the text behind it. So, the shape layer is my matte and the text is my alpha matte layer. In the previous versions, you had to place the text under the matte layer and select alpha matte from the track matte part. In the previous versions, each layer needed its matte layer separately. But recently, there is just a link. All you have to do is link between the matte and the alpha or luma layers. So, you can put several layers between the alpha or luma layers and the matte layer. You can even use one matte layer for several alpha or luma layers. When I move the alpha layer, as you see, the border of the matte layer is like a frame that shows the text inside it. It doesn't matter if you use a shape with a different color, a video, a photo, or a PNG file. The important thing in alpha matte is the border of the layer. When you make an alpha matte, something happens. The eye switch of the matte layer turns off. An icon like this is shown beside the layers. And the alpha matte sign appears in the track matte part. What if I turn on this icon beside the alpha icon? Invert the alpha matte by hitting this icon beside the alpha icon. Alpha inverted considers the border of the layer. It shows outside of the layer instead of the inside. So alpha shows inside and alpha inverted shows outside the matte layer. What's luma? How can we change alpha to luma? I click on the alpha icon twice and change it to luma. Click on invert icon to disable it. Move the text and check the result. Luma considers black and white colors. Luma shows inside the white part of the matte layer. Look at the matte layer again. This is a black box containing a white circle on it. So, luma shows the text under the white part. Let's check luma inverted. Click the inverted luma icon. As you see, luma inverted does not consider the white part. So in brief, track matte needs two layers at least, a matte layer and an alpha or luma layer. Alpha considers the inside of the matte layer. Alpha inverted considers the outside matte layer. So borders are important here. Luma shows the white part as a window. Luma inverted shows outside of the white color. For more experiences and exercise, watch Typography 01 tutorial. This tutorial helps make a simple typography scene with the track matte techniques. Track matte is a simple way to give texture or background to the layer. The next steps guide you to make something like this. Let's create this. Make a new composition. Create a solid layer. Find the cell pattern effect from the Effects and Presets tab and add it to the solid layer. Rename it to cell. Make a text layer. Edit the text. I want to show the cell pattern effect through the text layer. So, link the cell layer to the text in the track matte part. If you cannot find track matte click on Toggle Switch. Now link cell to text. Edit the cell pattern effect. Check the invert. Increase the contrast to 210. Increase the size to 180. Animate the evolution by the time expression. Alt or Option click on evolution and type time multiplied by 100. Remember to write it small, not capital. Find the Triton effect and add it to the cell layer. Edit the color to set a golden color. Find the glow effect and add it under the other effects. Increase the glow threshold to 98 and increase the glow radius to 40. Let's make a stroke around the text. Duplicate both text and cell layer. Put them below. Hide the first cell layer. Select the second text. Uncheck the fill and add a stroke. Increase the stroke width. Select the second cell layer. To see the black stroke color, disable the Triton effect. Unhide the first cell layer. Increase the width of the stroke of the second text again if needed. And for the last part, create a rectangular shape layer around the text. Remove fill and add a stroke. Edit the stroke width. Edit color. Rename it to frame. Duplicate the second cell layer. Place the frame layer top of it. Link it to the frame layer. Add a white background and preview. Sometimes you want a background to appear inside the text. Sometimes your text needs to appear in a hidden box. In all cases, the simple way is Track Matte. Download the project file from the description below. If you enjoyed these tutorials, subscribe and hit the bell for updates on new tutorials and news. Your comment and feedback are always appreciated. Thanks for watching and have a great day until the next daily life of a motion designer.